All right, so let's move into marketing campaigns. So, what are the three top components that you would say go into a successful marketing campaign?
So number one is consistency. I cannot say that enough. And I have several marketing, gurus that I work with that say the same thing. We unfortunately have such a shiny object complex amongst most of the contractors we work with that it becomes an issue to be consistent. And yet, the most successful companies out there keep consistency. Being consistent with your campaigning, it's not going to be, there's no silver bullet. There's nothing out there that's going to work instantly the next day. Okay, occasionally, you might find that unicorn every once in a while, but really, the real winners out there are the ones that stick with it, find a campaign and work with it, because anything from billboards, or maybe you're doing a PPC campaign, or maybe you're doing a Facebook campaign either, or maybe a postcard campaign. Consistency. You can't just expect to do it one time and say, oh my God, it didn't work, so it's never going to work again. And yet, if you're consistently finding a rhythm with that, or hitting on a schedule, or maybe trying, like maybe just doing some A B testing with it and stuff, you'll find that people just need repetitiveness a lot of times. People talk about the different touches of marketing. It may not have worked the first time, but they took notice, but they didn't have a need. Maybe you're going to hit them the second time. And maybe that's when it takes it from being an impression to an impact. And I drove by that billboard once before, and I saw it there for a couple weeks, and then it's a new billboard. But if you're consistently keeping that going, where you're the one that owns your area and consistently has a campaign that people become to recognize and get familiar with, and they look forward to it almost because they're looking for the differences. And maybe, like for instance, for a campaign that we do here in Port Huron, our company is Vincent's Heating and Plumbing, and we do the Van Gogh Gallery. Wherever you see a Vincent Van Gogh, you know the job is going to be a work of art. We're dorks that way. So we did different billboards with different famous artworks on them. And so we have different famous artists, work from like the Mona Lisa to the Thinker to Monet's Lilies to whatever. And so then we'd have like little sayings or little, honestly, almost dad joke like, things next to them about the art and about maybe your furnace maintenance and stuff. And so that became this consistent campaign. And people started looking forward to it, of course, because it became synonymous with our brand. And in addition to that, people would notice that they were popping up everywhere, and it became more than just an impression, it was an impact. And that's what made a huge difference in even just top of mind awareness. You're never going to be able to measure direct ROIs on some things. I think that's another thing that people need to realize. Like, having tracking numbers on things is very important. However, you're not going to be able to drive by a billboard or a park bench or a yard sign and say that, oh my God, I got a phone call off of that. Not anybody in their car is stopping to make sure they take down your number. They're remembering your name. So it's not going to be something where you're going to have, a direct ROI off of how many phone calls that came off that billboard. It might be something just as easy as somebody searched for my name in Google directly when they had a need, because they recognized all the repetition and they saw all my neighbors had our yard signs. So there is so many different things to that. I feel like in general, most of our industry, and I'd even put this as far as roofers and stuff too, a lot of people think that it's just one and done. And you hear stories of, well, he did it, and he just did this, and he got these results. Every market, number one, is different. And number two, consistency is king. There's no such thing as a silver bullet, and you're going to find way more results if you're consistent with it. Track as much as you can, but be realistic about where your impacts are coming from too.